Next, Sally.
I didn't leave the apartment. I never took my bathrobe off.
Her career crashed, and her life fell apart.
And my husband would come home, I'd cry. And Sally, I knew that nobody was going to hire me.
How did she make it back?
Gloria's sister was murdered while she was trying to help a friend.
How did she recover her spirit? I'm back, I'm better, and I made it. Next, Sally.
Today at 3, only on NBC4.
Coming up, celebrity women who have survived personal crises. They reveal how you can make it back to the top after hitting bottom next. Indomitable spirit. Well, people think that celebrities have it easier than everyone else. And my feeling is that is not true. When a celebrity goes through a crisis, they have to do it in front of the whole world. I mean, you think about what Kathy Lee Gifford has gone through, dealing with the infidelity, and Pamela Lee Anderson finding out that private sexy home videos were for public sale. And you've got to feel sorry, I think, for John F. Kennedy Jr. and his wife, that they have a fight. No matter how small, every headline screams, they're going to get divorced, divorce, divorce. She gains weight, they say, pregnant, pregnant, pregnant. My first guest knows how hard it is to deal with hardship while in the public eye. When Deborah Norville became the co-host on the Today Show, she suddenly became the most popular person in the world to hate. Why? Deborah was accused of trying to steal Jane Pauley, who is very beloved, her job. Now, at the time, Deborah felt she had no choice but to leave her job. And after she did, she says she spiraled down and she really went into a deep depression. Well, that was 6 years ago. Now she says, in a way, she is almost glad that she went through that. Today, she's back. She could not be better. She is hosting the TV news magazine Inside Edition. She has a new book out that tells her story, and it's called Back on Track, and it's very inspiring. Please welcome Deborah Norville. You look great. Does she look great or what? Thank you. And she's doing great. Do you know something before we get to the crisis? I have to tell you something. I must live in the tundra. I did not know all those things.
I hit it well.
Did not. You hit it well, or I'm not on top of the crazy things that the executives in television do, because I don't like most of them. I've never had all these years in this business. And it's very rare that I meet one of them that I like. Well, we're going to talk about the Today Show, but before we do, life is good now?
Life is really good.
You're a married lady?
Married lady. We've got our 10th anniversary coming up on Friday, which is... Thank you. We've got 3 kids now. We've got a 6-year-old, a 3-year-old, who will also be 3 on Friday, and an 11-week-old little girl.
You had a baby on your anniversary.
I did, yeah.
Oh, wow. By the way, she represented her home state of Georgia in America's Junior Miss pageant. So she's that beautiful that they would...
No. Junior Miss, y'all are sweet, but it had nothing to do with what you look like. Junior Miss happened the weekend that we didn't have the SAT test and the weekend that the high school football team went to the playoffs. So there wasn't anything else to do but just go and be in the Junior Miss thing. And I had no talent. You know, there were the girls who could play the piano and the girls who could dance or do dramatic readings. I sewed. So I know everybody was like, Debbie, you know, forget her. She's no competition. And I went and won the stupid thing, so.
But it wasn't a beauty contest?
No, half your score was interviewing, so talking, which I obviously have a hard time doing. and the other part of that, 50% of your score was your grades, and I was a good student. So I was doing well before I walked out on stage, and I guess I just didn't humiliate myself when I got out there. But the funny thing was being in the Junior Miss pageant and seeing, you know, the TV cameras and all the people and all the hoopla that's part of the production. Right. That's what got me interested in being in television.
So that's good.
Yeah, it was great.
So that hit her very young. Now, she has worked for all 3 networks.
Yeah.
Gosh. She first got her national attention when she became the anchor on the Sunrise News. You know that thing they do before the, I think it's before the Today
Yeah, it's
Show?
5:30 now. It's an ungodly hour. Yeah.
Talk to me about those early days.
Oh, it was so hard to get up in the morning, and I can remember the first time I was filling in on Sunrise, before I actually had the job. I was in the hotel, was in my little suit, waiting for the guy to come and pick me up and take me to work, and a couple comes in black tie, and she's got on this evening gown, and his, tie is undone, and they've had this fabulous evening out, and I'm thinking, here I am with my briefcase going to work. This is so forlorn, but it was a great job, because we would be covering the news before most of the world was even awake. And so, for instance, when the Berlin Wall was coming down, we were live as the first chinks of the rock were coming down, because it was, nighttime or daytime in Berlin and early morning for us.
That's
so
right.
It was a tremendous time to do the news, and I had the luxury of filling in on the Today Show. So sometimes if Jane or Bryant would be absent, they'd say, hey, Deb, come over and fill in there. And so it was this wonderful combination of the show that I was regularly assigned to and the Today Show, which was just like the McGilla program in television.
But it looked like you and Jane Pauley got along very well.
We got along beautifully.
Watch this.
We got the microwave to work. Oh, dear.
No, we didn't.
I think it's great. I had nothing to do with this.
What?
Show him the color. Here, let me put more in.
Send us home.
we leave yet? I don't think we should try another half hour. This is what we made. Can you see the color? Forget it. Can we do the show from somewhere else?
Now, by the way, you were still at Sunrise when that...
I was filling
happened.
in, yeah, and this was after all the media nonsense had started. Deborah's trying to get Jane's job. I was working as the news anchor on Today, and we were trying to demonstrate kitchen products, which Jane and I proved neither one of us belonged in the kitchen, because the next day after that segment, and that was a suede desktop. I figured that segment cost them about $10,000, because we ruined that suede. There was a little sign on my door that said Ethel, and a little sign on her door that said Lucy.
Then, well, as I said, I didn't know that these things happened.
Yeah.
They hired you to take Jane's job.
Well, they hired me to do the news. They hired me to do the news anchor job. At the first of the half hour, there's the 5-minute news part, and that was my job. But the first week I was doing that job, there was a little article in USA Today, and the first words were, watch out, Jane Pauley. And it went on to say that I looked too comfortable on the sofa sitting with them at the end of the show. Well, I'd been working with them for 3 years, so of course I was comfortable. And we all poo-pooed that article. I was just one